Today, we will start studying what is new in this chapter, which is chapter number 2 of our mathematics textbook, which is called Pythagoras theorem. And today's session will focus on the proof of the Pythagoras theorem. And we have already seen different proofs of Pythagoras theorem. You remember that you started understanding Pythagoras theorem in class 7 itself. Today, in this class, we will look at the final proof for Pythagoras theorem. And of course, we will solve some questions also. In detail, what we will do is, we will see the similarity of triangles in case of a right angle triangle. We will revisit a question that we have already solved in the previous chapter of similarity of triangles, and we will look at it from another perspective, a perspective of a theorem, and we will call it theorem of geometric mean. We will use these two outcomes, similarity of right angle triangles and theorem of geometric mean, to prove the Pythagoras theorem. Finally, we will also prove the converse of Pythagoras theorem. Converse means the ulta, if then it interchanges. But before we get into that, some warm up, some very, very simple questions from your textbook only that you can already answer even without studying anything about Pythagoras theorem this year. The first one is coming onto your screen. What you are going to do is solve it in your notebook and then share the answer with everyone in the Zoom chat box. Question is coming up now. Now this question may come just like this without a diagram. It can be a completely word problem and we have to think how it will look and then answer. So it says in the right angle triangle. So we have a triangle in which one angle is right angle. Suppose it is like this. We will give it a name. It says right angle. So let's just say angle B is 90 degree. It says sides making right angle. Now sides making right angle are AB and BC are 9 cm and 12 cm. So since in this diagram, AB is a little shorter than BC, let's say this is 9 centimeter and this is 12 centimeters. The question is find the length of the hypotenuse. We know hypotenuse is the longest side of the right angle triangle. It is opposite to the 90 degree angle. So in this case, we have to find the length of AC. But from Pythagoras theorem, we know that AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. AB square will be 9 square. BC square will be 12 square. 9 square means 9 into 9. 12 square means 12 into 12. So this becomes 81 plus 144. When we add them, this becomes 225. This is AC square. But we need to find out AC. To find out AC, we will take square root of AC square. That means square root of 225. If you know that 225 is 15 into 15, 225 is the square of 15, then you can very, very easily write it is same as 15 into 15 or 50. So the length of the hypotenuse will be equals to 15 centimeter. Using Pythagoras theorem that you started studying in class 7. The next question is coming to your screen in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Once again, answer this question first in your notebook and then type the answer in the Zoom chat, share it with everyone. Now this question is another word problem without a diagram, and we don't even need a diagram. What is happening in this question? It is talking about a triangle LMN, and it says small l equals to 5, small m equals to 13, and small n equals to 12. We studied yesterday that when we represent something of the triangle in small alphabets, lowercase alphabet, it means the length of the side. So small l is the side opposite to L, small m is the length of the side opposite to angle M, and small n is the length of the side opposite to angle N. So what the question is giving us is the lengths of the three sides of a triangle LMN. And we have to find out whether this triangle is a right angle triangle or not. This also we can find out by Pythagoras theorem. We know that in a right angle triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other side. Logically, the converse will be true. If the square of the longest side is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides, then it will be a Pythagoras. It will be a right angle triangle. That is what we will see. So first of all, we see here is M is greater than N is greater than L. That means M is the longest side. So if at all, if it is a right angle triangle, M should be the hypotenuse. So let us see what is M square. 13 square is 169. The other two sides, which are shorter than this longest side, are L and N. Let us take the sum of their squares. Now L square will be 5 square, N square will be 12 square, 5 square is 20, 12 square is 144. When we add 25 and 144, we get 169. Now we can say from 1 and 2, we can say M square equals to L square plus N square. So yes, using the converse of Pythagoras theorem, we can say that this triangle is a right angle triangle. To answer this also, we don't need to study anything new this year. We can answer this type of question with what we have studied till now. This question also you can solve using what we have already studied in previous years. Try it in your notebook and then share it with everyone. Now you see there is a triangle ABC and the diagram is already given. And this is a right angle triangle, but this is not any right angle triangle. This is a special right angle triangle, which we call as 30, 60, 90 triangle. And we have studied that when we have a 30, 60, 90 triangle, the sides of this type of triangle can be easily found out from one of the given sides, from the hypotenuse. So here hypotenuse is AC and it says that it is 14 units. What we have studied is the side opposite to the 30-degree angle, which is this here. Opposite to that is BC. It will be half of the hypotenuse. We have also studied the side which is opposite to the 60-degree angle. 60-degree angle is here. Opposite to that, the side is AB. This side will be √3/2 times the hypotenuse. So our calculations will be BC equals to 1/2 into 14, 7 units, and AB equals to √3/2 into hypotenuse, 7√3 units. This is just the mathematics part, calculation part. We also have to write the reason, and this is the reason, right? So we will write in brackets 30, 60, 90 triangle. 30, 60, 90 triangle. Need to write this. Now our answer is complete. This much is enough. We again have a triangle. Perhaps we have 2, 3 triangles. There are some 90-degree angles. Some information is given about angles and sides. AC equals to 8 root 2. Okay? And we have to find AD and BC. We have to find AD and BC. So same theory has to be used to calculate the length of sides. Where is AD? This is AD. We have to find this. Where is BC? BC. Right? So you see in this diagram, you already see 5 and 8. So you will say this is 13. Yes, but tell me how this is 5 and tell me how this is 8. Solve it in your notebook and then share. First of all, I agree there is a printing mistake. This should not have been written. 8 should not have been written here. BD equals to 5. Yes, it is given. AC equals to 8 root 2. Yes, this is given. It says AD is perpendicular to BC. So this is 90 degree is given. The question is how much is AD, this side, and how much is BC, the entire base. Right? Now we have to look at a smaller triangle, a right angle triangle, which is triangle ADC. Now in triangle ADC, we clearly see that angle ADC equals to 90 degrees. What is given is angle C equals to 45 degrees. Now using simple mathematics, we can find out that this angle A or angle DAC will be equal to 45 degrees. How? Angle DAC will be equals to 180 degrees minus 90 and 45. This comes to 45 degrees. अभी तो हमको और स्मार्ट हो जाना चाहिए that if we have a 90 right angle triangle and one of the 3 angles is 45 degree, the other angle has to be 45 degree. 45, 45, 90, 90 plus 90, 180. Now, when we have this as 45 degrees, now triangle ADC is a special kind of triangle. It is a 45 degree, 45 degree, 90 degree triangle. In such a triangle, we know the sides, the remaining sides are AD and CD. They will be equal and each of them will be equal to 1 by root 2 times the hypotenuse, which is 8 root 2, which is 8. So our AD comes to 8. Our CD comes to 8. We got the first answer. AD is equal to 8 units. To find BC, we see B, D, and C are collinear. So our BC will be equal to BD plus CD. Why? Because B, D, C are collinear. So this becomes 5 plus 8 equals to 13 units. 8 and 13. So first we have to show that triangle ADC is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. From there we will say the sides will be 1 by root 2 multiplied by the hypotenuse. And then finally, we will say that B, D, and C are collinear. So we can find BC as a sum of BD and CD. The first new thing that we will study will be about proving Pythagoras theorem using similarity of triangles. But even before that, if we can just think about what we already know about areas of triangle, we can think about another proof to the proof for the Pythagoras theorem. And by now, it is very natural if you will be confused. Sir, there are so many different proofs. Which one to know? Which one to remember? Which one to write? Now, there is no rule. If the question says, prove the Pythagoras theorem, you can use any proof, any method that you want to use. If the question says, prove it in a particular way, then you will have to use that method. Then if the method is not specified, you can use any method that you want to use. 100% clear. जरूरी नहीं है कि एक ही तरीके से करना है. You can use any method. Now, this proof, which is using areas of triangles, is given as an activity on in your textbook on page number 32. What it says is, let us imagine two triangles, say A, B, C, and say C, D, E. And they are congruent. Triangle A, B, C, let us call, and triangle C, D, E. They are congruent because if you see X, X, Y, Y, Z, Z. So they are congruent by S, S, S test. We are taking two congruent triangles and we are placing them such that you see this line, this baseline, it's a straight line. This is 180 degrees. Now, when we join the points A and E, we get a quadrilateral, which is A, B, D, E. This is a special quadrilateral because the way we have taken the triangles, they are not just congruent. We have taken two congruent right angle triangles. So angle B is 90, angle D is also 90 degrees. Now, if we look at these two triangles once again, then AB and DE are two lines. BD is a transversal, and because angle B and angle D are same side interior angles, which in this case are supplementary, we can say that AB is parallel to DE. Clearly, AE is not parallel to BD. So one pair of opposite sides are parallel, another pair of opposite sides are not parallel. So this quadrilateral is a trapezium. Is a trapezium. Now, if we know that the area of a triangle is half base into height, we studied it long back and this year also in chapter number 1. For triangle ABC on the left, we can say the area is 1 by 2 x into y. Base is y, height is x. Why? Because angle B is 90 degree. Similarly, the area of the right hand side triangle, which is CDE, is 1 by 2. Base is x, height is y. And the area of the triangle ACE, this is also 90. Now this becomes 1 by 2 into z equals to 1 by 2 z square. Now these three triangles combine to form one trapezium, and area of that trapezium is given by half sum of the lengths of the parallel sides. So x plus y are the lengths of the parallel sides, and the distance between the parallel side is this, which is x plus y. Area is area. Area of the trapezium is area of trapezium. If we calculate it in 3 parts or in 1 part, so we can say 1 by 2 z square equals to, no, 1 by 2 z square plus 1 by 2 xy plus 1 by 2 xy equals to 1 by 2 x plus y into x plus y. On the left hand side, half is common. What is left with us is z square. Xy and xy is 2xy. On the right hand side, we have 1 by 2. And x plus y multiplied by x plus y becomes x square plus 2xy plus y square. If we simplify, 1 by 2 and 1 by 2 will divide. If we simplify, this 2xy and 2xy will become 0. So what we are left with is z square equals to x square plus y square. This is another proof of Pythagoras theorem. We start with two congruent right-angled triangles. We place them in such a way that together they make another right-angled triangle, and together with that triangle they make a trapezium. When we look at the areas of individual triangles and compare it with the area of the trapezium that is formed, we can prove Pythagoras theorem. Now, to move forward, to understand the final proof of Pythagoras theorem using similar triangles, we will first need to understand what similar triangles are. And we have studied it. Some of it we studied last year, and more of it we studied this year in chapter number 1 of Maths 2. Now, help me complete this. Triangles are similar if corresponding angles are what? You can speak or you can type. Thank you, Khadija. Correct answer is congruent. Ankit, circumference is related to circle. It has got nothing to do with triangles. Khadija, correct answer. Prachi, correct answer. The second condition that must be met if the triangles are to be similar is what? The corresponding sides have to be
perpendicular.
No,
congruent.
wrong answer.
Parallel. Parallel.
Wrong answer. They have to be proportional. Two triangles are said to be similar if their angles are congruent and their sides are proportional. If we take an example, very sorry for this. If we take a simple example, if we see, if we have triangle ABC, and if we say triangle PQR, if we have angle A same as angle P, angle B same as angle Q, angle C same as angle R, and AB same as PQ, BC same as QR, and CA same as RP, then we can say triangle ABC is similar to triangle PQR. So very clearly, there are 6 things that should be done. Should happen. Angle, angle, angle. 3 pairs of angles should be congruent. Side, side, side. 3 pairs of sides should be proportional. Right? I have written equals to. Right? I should not have written like this. This only means congruent. What I should have written is this: AB by PQ equals to BC by QR equals to CA by RP. What this tells you is which sides are corresponding. So if I write it again on a clear screen, if we have two triangles A, B, C, and a triangle P, Q, R, angles congruent means angle A, angle B, angle C will be equal to or congruent to angle P, angle Q, angle R. Sides proportional means AB, EC, CA will be proportional to PQ, QR, RP. This is condition 1, this is condition 2. But you see, even in condition 1, there are 3 parts. Even in condition 2, there are 3 parts. So there are 6 things that should be correct before we say that the triangles are similar. And the symbol is triangle ABC, similar to triangle PQR. But then we also studied that it is not necessary to check all the 6 things. We don't need to compare all the 6 angles and all the 6 sides. We can test whether the triangles are similar or not by just checking 3 or 2 things. And we studied about these tests this year. The tests are AAA test, in which we see if the pairs of 3 angles, they are congruent or not. But then we said, because in all triangles, the sum of the 3 angles is 180 degrees, it is necessary to check 3 angles. We can just check 2 angles. So we don't use this. This is correct, but we don't use it. So if 2 angles of one triangle are equal to or congruent to 2 angles of the other triangle, we can say that the 2 triangles are similar. Similarly, there is a test which is called SAS test, which says if 2 sides and the included angle of a triangle are proportional and congruent to 2 sides and the included angle of the other triangle, then the triangles are similar. For example, if we have triangle ABC, if we have triangle PQR, if we say that angle B is equal to angle Q, at the same time AB is proportional to PQ and BC is proportional to QR, then the triangles are similar. The last test is very easy. Just like the first test, the last test is all about only one thing, sides. If all the 3 sides of one triangle are proportional to all the 3 sides of the second triangle, then also the triangles are called similar. These are the 4 tests that we studied. And we also said we never use the first test because it is not required. The second test is enough. If we understand the similarity of triangles, we can finally apply it to prove Pythagoras theorem. And actually, we have already done the basic things in last year. In the last chapter, we will just look at it in a different way and use it to prove the Pythagoras theorem. The first part of it is to see what happens to the triangles when we have a right angle triangle and there is an altitude drawn to the hypotenuse. You will remember the diagram. You will remember the diagram. Look at the diagram on the left hand side of your screen. We have a triangle ABD, which is a right angle triangle with angle B equals to 90 degrees. And we have drawn an altitude. Altitude means height. BD. Height is all from a point to a line. Height, it can be a height only when it is perpendicular. So BD is perpendicular to AC, the hypotenuse. Last year, we have solved questions where we proved that the 3 triangles that we see here, triangle ABC, the bigger triangle, and the 2 triangles, the smaller triangles, triangle ADB and the triangle BDC, they are all similar to each other. We have seen this. In different questions, in example, in the exercise questions also. Right? So we are combining this into one theorem. No one asks you to prove this theorem, but this is used to solve many other questions and to prove many other theorems. And if you can quickly look at the proof, very simple. Let us first look at triangle ADB and triangle ABC. ADB is the small one on the top and ABC is the big one. DAB, angle DAB is congruent to triangle BAC. है ही ना, same angle है. It's the same angle. This is common to triangle ADB and triangle ABC. So this is one angle that we get. We also know that angle ADB, that is this angle, and angle ABC, the big one here, they're 90 degrees. Another angle. So by AA test, we have two triangles in which two of the angles are same, two of the angles are congruent, two of the angles are equal. So by AA test, we can say triangle ADB is similar to triangle ABC. Simple. We have done it already in the previous chapter. Similarly, if we look at triangle BDC and triangle ABC, right? छोटा वाला triangle, इधर नीचे. Now this angle is common. This angle and this angle, they are 90 degrees. Once again, by AA test, we can say triangle BDC is similar to triangle ABC. So triangle ADB is similar to triangle ABC. Triangle BDC is similar to triangle ABC. Combining these two, we can also say that they are similar to each other. Done. The second thing that we need to look at again with a different perspective is called the theorem of geometric mean. Don't worry about geometric and mean. We have done it already. Absolutely no worries. You will remember this diagram is the same diagram. I told you when we were studying chapter number 1 that this is one of the most important diagrams. Now, what the theorem of geometric means tells us is that if we have a right angle triangle and we have an altitude drawn to its hypotenuse, so that altitude is QX and the bigger right angle triangle is PQR, where Q is equal to 90 degree, the theorem says QS square equals to PS into RS. So this theorem connects three parts: part 1, part 2, and part 3. This 2 we have proved as a question in the previous chapter using similarity of triangles. Why is this called a geometric mean? If you remember from class 9 chapter on ratio proportion, we said if we have three numbers such that A by B equals to B by C, by cross multiplication, we say that B square is A into C, then B is called the geometric mean or the mean proportional of AC. Something similar is happening now. Now QS square is like B square, PS into RS is like A and C. So we can say QS is the geometric mean of PS and RS. We can also say QS is the mean proportional of PS and RS. That means what we can say, writing in the ratio form, we can say PS by QS equals to QS by RS. The same thing. The proof is very easy and it is given in the textbook. I have nothing more to add to that. We have to look at triangle QSR and PSQ. QSR and PSQ. We already know that they are similar. Similarity of right triangles. We can write like this: similarity of right triangles. Remember this. The previous theorem that we saw, we can refer to it as similarity of right triangles. Now, because these two triangles are similar, if we take the corresponding angles, they will be proportional. QS, where is QS? This is QS. Where is this side? This side, if we say QSR, right? This is opposite to angle R. Now, this angle R is equal to which angle? Angle R is equal to this angle. So QS by PS equals to RS by SQ. That SQ can also be written as QS. And when we do the cross multiplication, we get QS square equals to PS into RS. Geometric mean. Now what we will do is, we will combine the similarity of right triangles and this theorem of geometric mean and apply it to the same diagram and see what happens. We will find out the proof of the Pythagoras theorem. And that is why the diagram remains same. We start with a right angle triangle ABC, where angle B is equal to 90 degrees. We draw an altitude to the hypotenuse AC. It is BD, which is perpendicular to AC. We have to prove that AC square equals to AB square plus BC square. Very simple. And once again, the entire proof is given in the textbook. I have nothing more to add, but just to explain how it is done. First, we are referring to similarity of right triangles. We have the same three triangles here, so they are similar to each other. We will look at two pairs of triangles one by one. First, we will look at ABC and ADB. Then we will look at ABC and BDC. And we will do the same things in both the similarity condition. Because these triangles are similar, the corresponding sides will be proportional. We will take not all the three sides, we will just consider these two, this one and this one. Using cross multiplication, AB square comes to AD into AC. Then we'll do the same thing with triangles ABC and BDC. Instead of taking all the three ratios, we will take second ratio and the third ratio. And when we do the cross multiplication, we get BC square equals to DC into AC. Now, when we add equation 2, left hand side will be added to left hand side. So AB square is added to BC square. Right hand side will be added to right hand side. So AD into AC is added to AD into AC. AD into DC, not AC. Now, there are these two terms. AC is common. We take the AC out common and we are left with AD and CT. We know AD plus CD equals to AC, then this becomes AC square. Finally, the Pythagoras theorem is proved. The last part of the theory for today, for this session, is the converse of the Pythagoras theorem. Remember, Pythagoras theorem says, if we have a right angle triangle, then the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. The converse will interchange the if and then. So what does that read? It reads, if in a triangle, the square of one side is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides, then the triangle is a right angle triangle. As Subha, we did a question like this, na? Triangle LMN का value दिया था, and we found out whether it was a right angle triangle or not. And Khadija very nicely said, they make a Pythagorean triplet, that is why it is a right angle triangle. So she was using the converse of Pythagoras theorem. So what is given to us? we have a triangle ABC. We don't know whether it is a right angle triangle or not. But we do know that one side AC, the square of which is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides, AB square plus BC square. Converse says that this triangle is a right angle triangle. That means we have to prove that angle ABC is 90 degree. Why only angle ABC? Because AC is the longest side. If AC is the longest side, the biggest angle will be opposite to that. It cannot be angle A, it cannot be angle C. The biggest angle, if there is an angle in a triangle which is of 90 degree, then it has to be the biggest angle. And if it is the biggest angle, it has to be opposite the longest side. That is why angle ABC. The proof of it will depend on an indirect method. Very nicely, the proof is given in the textbook. Complete proof is given. I have nothing more to add, but simple explanation. This proof requires a construction of another triangle PQR such that PQ is equal to AB, QR is equal to BC, and angle PQR is 90 degrees. This is the construction we have to do. We understood how to draw triangles in previous classes. So two sides and one angle. Now if we look at triangle PQR, it is a right angle triangle. Why? Because we have constructed it like this. PQR is 90 degrees. Because it is a right angle triangle, we can apply Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem says that in a right angle triangle, the square of the hypotenuse, in this case the hypotenuse is PR, will be equal to the square of the other two, sum of the squares of the other two sides. So PR square equals to PQ square plus QR square. But we know, हमने ऐसा बनाया है कि AB is equal to PQ and BC equals to QR. So if we do that substitution, we get PR square equals to AB square plus BC square. We know it is already given that AB square plus BC square is AC square. तो घूम फिर कर हम यहां पर पहुंचे that PR square equals to AC square. If we take square root on both sides, we will get PR is equal to AC. Now look at these two triangles, ABC and PQR. Their sides are congruent. So by SSS test, अब ये कहां से आया? Class 9. Now we have two triangles ABC and PQR in which the sides are congruent. So we can say that the triangles are congruent by SSS test. And because the triangles are congruent, we can say the corresponding angles are congruent. The corresponding angles will be angle B and angle Q. So the reason is corresponding angles of congruent triangles. This is missing. This is missing. This should be included. और जैसे ही हमको ये पता चला, मिल गया हमको ABC is 90 degree. यही तो हमको नहीं पता था ना. This is what we had to prove. We knew that AC square equals to AB square plus BC square. We knew this. We did not know that angle ABC was 90 degrees. So we used the indirect method. We drew another triangle. We made it congruent to the given triangle. And we then found out that angle B is equal to 90 degrees. This is the proof of the converse of Pythagoras theorem. Next, we will look at some questions again from the examples only that are related to what we studied just now. They are very, very simple. If you have understood the theorems, you will be able to solve them. You will try to solve on your own. You will share the answers and then I will tell you if you have done it right or not, and I will solve it for you also. On the screen coming to now. First question. Triangle PQR in which angle PQR equals to 90 degree. QN is perpendicular to PR. PN is equal to 9. NR equals to 16. We have to find QN. We have to find QN. I will show you on the screen where is QN. We have to find this. Use what we studied just now and find the value. Share it with everyone in the chat. This is a very, very direct question which uses the theorem of geometric mean. Theorem of geometric mean, because we have a right angle triangle and we have drawn QN, which is an altitude, onto the hypotenuse. We understood from the theorem of geometric mean that the length of that altitude, the square of length of that altitude, will be equal to the parts of the hypotenuse that it divides into. So 9 into 16. Using square root, QN equals to square root of 9 into 16. That means square root of 9 into square root of 16. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 16 is 4. This is 12 units. Another thing the answer must include is within brackets theorem of geometric mean. The length of the altitude onto the hypotenuse is geometric mean of the two parts of the hypotenuse that it divides it into. This needs to be there. Very clearly, the diagram for this question also looks very similar. We have a right angle triangle PQR. We have a altitude drawn to its hypotenuse, which is QS. Lengths of some sides are given and lengths of the other sides are asked. What is given is PS equals to 10. What is given is RS equals to 8. That's all that is given. We have to find the length of QS, which is denoted as X. We have to find the length of QR, which is denoted as Y. And we have to find the length of PQ, which is denoted as Z. You tell me, if I tell you that first we can find X, tell me what will we use to find X? What rule, what theorem can we use to find X? Will be much faster if you come out of mute and answer. What theorem will we use? Correct, Prachi. We will use the theorem of geometric mean. And using that, we can say X square equals to 10 into 8. 10 into 8. So our X will be equal to square root of 10 into 8. Now there is 80 is not a perfect square, so we will not get a perfect answer. So 10 becomes 2 into 5 and 8 becomes 2 into 4. Now we have this 2 and this 4 will become another 2. So 2 into 2 square root of 5, which is 4 into square root of 5. We have found X equals to 4 square root of 5. Now finding Y and Z is not difficult. If we look at the small triangle, this is also a right angle triangle. We know the two sides. We have to find the third side. We can use Pythagoras theorem. Same thing is happening in the other triangle. It is a right angle triangle. We know two sides. We have to find the third side using Pythagoras theorem. If I quickly solve it on the screen for all of you, in triangle, say QRS, clearly Y is the length of the hypotenuse. So I can write Y equals to 4 square root of 5 the square plus square of it plus square root. Instead of writing square and then taking square root, I can directly write this. You can solve it and find the answer. It's completely solved in your textbook. Similarly, if you look at triangle QPS, here also Z is the hypotenuse. So we can say Z equals to 4, no, there is no, yes, 4 square root of 5, square of it, plus 10 square. When we take the square root, when we solve, we can find the answer. You should be able to solve it on your own. The whole solution is given in your textbook. So in geometry, there are two types of questions. One, where we have to prove certain things, and two, where we have to find certain values. So this is the first type, proof type of question. So whenever we have proof, we will have three parts to the question answer: given, to prove, and proof. We can write the given part and the proof part from the to prove part from the question itself. For example, here it is given that there is a triangle ABC. See, it is not a right angle triangle. But what we are doing here is we have drawn an altitude from A to BC. It is AD. That is given. We have to prove this. So these two steps we can write even if we don't know what the correct answer is. We have to prove this. Obviously, we will have to use what we know. What do we know? We know Pythagoras theorem. We also know theorem of geometric means. We also know similarity of triangles. So some of that will be used. The way to think about this question is, what is it that we need? We need AB square, we need CD square, we need BD square and AC square. We know that we can get this only when we have a right angle triangle. Do we have the right angle triangle? Yes, we do. I will write the name of one of the right angle triangle. You tell me the name of the other right angle triangle. If I say one right angle triangle is triangle ADB, you tell me what is the other right angle triangle. Waiting for your answers. What is the other right angle triangle? Thank you, Chanda, Karthik. Correct answer, triangle ADC. Right? Now, if we apply Pythagoras theorem, nothing more. If we just apply Pythagoras theorem to triangle ADB, this is the hypotenuse. So we can write AB square equals to AD square plus BD square. You tell me what will we write if we apply the Pythagoras theorem to the other triangle? Tell me, and I will listen to your answer and write. Waiting. Yes, Chanda, please speak.
AC square.
Correct.
AD AC. Arey.
Square.
AB square minus CD square.
No, plus CD square. Pythagoras
Plus
theorem doesn't have a minus, no? Yes, Khadija, your answer in the chat box is correct. We got this. Now see, हम क्या ढूंढ रहे थे? AB square मिल गया हमको AB square. We were finding CD square. We found CD square. BD square. We have the BD square. We wanted AC square. We got the AC square. See, we have everything. Now we have to use these to find out the final thing that we want. Notice, in the to proof part, AB square and AC square on the other sides, different sides of the equal to sign. Now this we can get by subtracting. So this becomes AB square minus AC square equals to AD square minus AD square is 0. b d square minus c d square. डरो मत. Now if you take AC to this side and if you bring CD to this side, AB square plus CD square equals to BD square plus AC square. यही प्रूव करना था, हो गया.